Drax the Destroyer, a subscriber of mine who has suggested me to react to IGN's Every X-Men Ever, has suggested me to react to another IGN's work named Every Avenger Ever. Let's get illuminated once again.
The Avengers were created in 1963 by Marvel Comics legends Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. Consisting of characters that had already debuted in their own standalone titles, the original lineup included Iron Man, Thor, the Hulk, Ant-Man, and the Wasp. The team, dubbed Earth's Mightiest Heroes, first formed in response to a threat from Loki. After defeating the Asgardian villain, the five founding members pledged to combine their special powers and unite for the greater good. Unlike in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, however, neither S.H.I.E.L.D. nor Nick Fury had anything to do with the creation of the team. In what would become standard operating procedure for the Avengers, the lineup began to change right away. Hulk left by issue 2, Ant-Man became Giant Man, and Captain America joined in Avengers number 4. Cap had first debuted in 1941, before Marvel Comics was even called Marvel Comics. Lee and Kirby were reintroducing an old popular favorite. By 1965, the first major overhaul of the membership occurred. Everyone but Cap stepped down, with new members Hawkeye, Quicksilver, and the Scarlet Witch joining.
Quicksilver in green?
Dubbed Cap's Kooky Quartet was interesting in that the new Avengers had all previously played the role of villains. Hawkeye's mentor, the Scarlet Witch, joined as well, for just one issue. His membership turned out to be a ruse by the Iron Man villain, the Mandarin. Though he would join the team in 1973 as a full-fledged member and hero. In the late 60s, founding members would return to the fold and then leave again, even while new heroes continued to join. This included the Olympian Avengers and the first mainstream superhero of color, the Black Panther.
Black Panther!
In the Fantastic Four.
I can't wait to
Roy
see
Thomas also introduced the android Avenger, the Vision, and the Black Knight during this period. Many of Thomas's stories were drawn by the artist John Buscema, and together they brought a grand sense of the mythological to the book, as well as a more adult sensibility. As the team entered the 1970s, such characters as Black Widow would become long-lasting members, while others such as the time-traveling cowboy, the Two-Gun Kid, and Mantis enjoyed shorter terms of service.
Wow,
the 70s also introduced a few very influential storylines, such as the Cosmic Epic, the Kree Skrull War, and writer Jim Shooter's stories like The Bride of Ultron and the Korvac Saga. The fight against Michael Korvac was another huge adventure for the team that utilized virtually every Avenger, past and present, up to that point, as well as the original Guardians of the Galaxy. Later on, notable additions to the team were Wonder Man in 1977 and Carol Danvers in 1979. At the time, she was still operating under the Miss Marvel guise and was several decades away from becoming Captain Marvel. Another character that Marvel movie watchers may recognize is the Falcon, Captain America's partner from the era. The early 80s saw a number of women join the team. Women like Tigra, who started out as a human crime fighter named the Cat,
friend
who eventually
of Captain America,
with the help of sorcery. Bruce Banner's cousin, Jennifer Walters, who became the She-Hulk after a blood transfusion with Bruce's blood, and an all-new
Will we ever get a She-Hulk
who later went by the names Photon and Spectrum. In 1984, the first of what would eventually be many offshoots of the main Avengers team arrived when the Vision suggested the creation of the West Coast Avengers. Hawkeye led the first iteration of this team, which also drafted new members like his wife Mockingbird, aka former S.H.I.E.L.D. agent Bobby Morse, and Tony Stark's friend James Rhodes, who was serving as Iron Man at the time. Rhodes would later become War Machine, and even later Iron Patriot. Other characters would also join the different Avengers teams around this time. Namor finally joined up with the Avengers, while Thing joined the West Coast Avengers. Both teams would operate simultaneously for a decade, each acquiring new heroes for their respective, and, at times, interchangeable lineups. But in the East Coast book, the team fell on hard times during the Under Siege story that began in 1986 under the writer Roger Stern. As the main Avengers book approached its 300th issue, the East Coast group's downward spiral culminated with the entire team disbanding in 1988. Of course, the Avengers couldn't stay apart
Demolition
for long,
Man?
but soon Steve Rogers, known at the time simply as the Captain, built a new team that included Reed and Sue Richards from the Fantastic Four, as well as Gilgamesh, the hero of legend.
One?
Speaking of the
Don't
Captain,
know him.
when Rogers gave up the Captain America
US
name,
agent.
the mantle was passed over to John Walker, who eventually became the U.S. agent. The decade was rounded out with the additions of both Quasar and the Human Torch.
Quasar.
This Human Torch was not Johnny Storm, but rather a character that first appeared in 1939. In the year 1990, the longtime Eternal named Cersei became an Avenger.
Cersei.
But the most notable addition was none other than your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. However, his membership was short-lived.
Hey, Spidey.
Captain America eventually decided that
Friendly
Spidey wasn't
neighborhood.
quite yet ready for the team and was more suited for solo crime fighting. But of course, Spider-Man would eventually become a major player for Earth's Mightiest. Other new members around this time were very diverse, such as former Spidey villain Sandman.
Sandman.
The original Avengers comics came to an end in 1996 after the Onslaught storyline temporarily sent the heroes to an alternate dimension created by Reed and Sue Richards' son, Franklin, but led to a new line of comics labeled Heroes Reborn.
I love this little animation they have
all the heroes.
added.
It was handled by two former Marvel employees, Rob Liefeld and Jim Lee. Within a year, however, the characters returned to the mainstream Marvel reality known as the Earth 616 continuity. And the 90s were closed out with Avengers Volume 3 launching and just two heroes joining the team, the former New Warriors, Justice, and Firestar.
I know her, Firestar,
became a major
Spider-Man and his amazing
friend. The
friends.
Avengers Disassembled crossover event saw the temporary deaths of several characters, such as Hawkeye and Vision, and the ultimate destruction of the Avengers Mansion. Two new recruits played an important part during these events. Jack of Hearts, a character who first appeared in 1976 and had spent many of his earlier adventures in outer space, and the former burglar-turned-superhero Scott Lang, also known as the second Ant-Man.
I know him.
It was revealed that the Scarlet Witch was losing control of her reality-warping powers, which led to a zombified Jack of Hearts exploding, killing Ant-Man, and destroying the mansion in the process. Wanda was eventually taken away by her father, Magneto, but due to the devastation, the Avengers were forced to disband once again. Of course, a new team would rise from the ashes. Writer Brian Michael Bendis, who was a major force behind the Disassembled story, launched the appropriately titled New Avengers. Here, Cap and Iron Man drafted new members like Luke Cage and the X-Man Wolverine. The Disassembled storyline also led to the creation of the Young Avengers. Although they didn't quite have full Avengers status,
ain't a Avenger.
Superpowered teenagers still played an important part in defending the world. In the later 2000s, the famous Civil War storyline saw the superheroes fighting amongst themselves when Steve Rogers and Tony Stark disagreed over how to respond to the US government's Superhero Registration Act. A New Avengers formed, now an underground team led by Cage with longtime Marvel hero Doctor Strange finally joining Earth's Mightiest heroes.
The movie?
Meanwhile, Stark created his own team, the Mighty Avengers, with many longtime members joining him, as well as the Olympian, Ares. Civil War ended with the arrest and eventual assassination of Captain America, part of a larger plot orchestrated by the Red Skull. However, Bucky Barnes decided to honor his longtime friend by becoming the new Captain America. Of course, the original Cap, Steve Rogers, would later be revived. During the final big crossover of this time, Secret Invasion, numerous characters like Spider-Woman turned out to be shape-shifting alien Skrulls. This was a big revelation, especially since Spider-Woman had served as an active Avenger in the past. But thankfully, the real Spider-Woman ultimately became an Avenger after the Skrulls were defeated. The fallout of Secret Invasion also led to the villain Norman Osborn creating the Dark Avengers, though the general public did not know that this fake team was composed of several bad guys posing as heroes. In 2010, the Secret Avengers debuted, depicting a covert organization of heroes led by former Captain America Steve Rogers.
I think
this
I do know
was
Nova.
partly created to clean up the mess that Norman
Ant-Man,
Osborn
of course.
made when he was in power. Around the same time, Marvel
but
also
the two
launched
ladies?
Heroic Age, an attempt to return the characters to a grander
Again?
mission
Captain
for Rhodes
Britain
after
again?
the darker storylines of the past several years. A fourth volume of the original
Jessica
Avengers
Jones,
comics
I
started in
haven't
2010,
watched
involving a time travel
the TV
story
show
about the fight
yet.
between longtime villain Ultron and the possible future children of the Avengers.
Don't know
New
him.
Avengers also kicked
Marvel
off the second
Boy.
volume during this time with a brand
Red
new
Hulk.
team and a storyline that involved the powerful mystical item called the Eye of Agamotto. More classic Marvel characters would join the
Daredevil.
ever-growing lineup,
Love that
including the
show.
likes of the Man Without Fear, Daredevil, and Storm, who also happened to be married to fellow Avenger Black Panther. Of course, things started to escalate during the
Storm.
Avengers vs. X-Men storyline, which kicked off over a dispute about the X-Man Hope Summers and the return of the Phoenix Force. But in
Great.
the aftermath of that crossover, Cap decided
We
that the
did
Avengers had never
see
done
her
enough
in
for their
X-Men
new
The
brother,
Last
and so
Stand,
he
if
elected to
I'm
create
not
a team to
mistaken.
combine the Avengers and the X-Men. And
Agent
so the
Venom.
Uncanny Avengers team was born, which in
Havoc.
the actual pages of the comics is now known as the Avengers Unity Division. In 2013, things had gotten cosmic again for the Avengers. Avengers Volume
Sunspot,
5 launched,
Cannonball.
Cap led a mission to Mars to confront a being called Ex Nihilo as part of the publisher's Marvel Now initiative. Ex Nihilo's mission was to create a perfect version of mankind, no matter the cost. Although the Avengers stopped him,
Captain
they would
Universe.
eventually recruit his help to face
Smasher.
a bigger threat later.
Hyperion.
Another big storyline at the time involved the so-called Superior Spider-Man. As part of a larger plot, Dr. Octopus swaps his mind with Peter Parker's and tries to prove
Oh.
that he's the superior crime fighter.
I didn't know that.
Not knowing the situation,
Rogue.
the Avengers didn't approve
Sexy
of this
Rogue.
Spider-Man's harsher methods, and it eventually led to him leaving the team. Luckily, Peter
Sunfire.
eventually regained control of his body. Also in 2013,
He is
was an
new
offshoot
to
of
me.
the Avengers called Avengers AI, led by Hank Pym and Vision. This team was formed to stop a rogue computer virus and consisted of Ultron's son, Victor Mancha, and a reprogrammed Doombot. Nightmask and Starbrand were characters created for the new universe,
Don't know.
Marvel's short-lived series from the 80s that featured a universe that was completely separate from the main Marvel continuity. But in 2013, they were reinvented for the 616 continuity, eventually joining the Avengers during the Cosmic Infinity event, which saw the
White
Avengers
Tiger.
unite the universe against an ancient
I know
race
her
called
from
the Builders.
the
Meanwhile,
Ultimate
a new version of the Mighty
Spider-Man
Avengers debuted during Infinity.
cartoon TV
This team
show.
would fight against Thanos and his elite
Kalu?
group of combatants called the Black
Don't know
Order.
him.
While the main Avengers team was
Dr.
away in space,
Voodoo.
this group of villains decided to invade Earth. Their goal,
Unknown.
finding the Infinity
Nova
Gems.
again.
Even more
Also
recently,
featured
Sunspot
in
formed
the
another
Ultimate
elite group of
Spider-Man
Avengers comprised of both old and new
cartoon
members.
show.
These heroes were tasked with finding out why the different universes were colliding with each other, an event that will reshape the entire Marvel Universe.
Unknown.
And finally, while the Avengers have had a number of active members in the 616 continuity, there are also several honorary members as well. Although they do not have the full Avengers membership, these heroes were given a special status to honor their acts of great courage or sacrifice. And so the evolution of Earth's mightiest heroes continues as the team adapts to new challenges. Marvel is already working on an all-new, all-different Avengers with new fan favorites like Miles Morales, Spider-Man from the Ultimate Universe, and Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel among the ranks. Expect that team to debut in 2015 when the Avengers will, once again, assemble.
Great. I do not know every and single Avenger character. I haven't read the comic books. The only comic books I did read were Superman and Batman. Today of course, I'm interested in all comic book characters. As it was the case for the X-Men, almost all Avengers characters did go through some changes. Or we got characters who had similar names. For instance, Spider-Woman, once in a quasi-Venom suit and the other one in the traditional Spider-Woman suit, which I do know the most. I like both very much though. Speaking of changing characters, the following character is known and unknown at the same time to me. Agent Venom. Do you know all Avenger? Are you a comic book expert, or are you someone like me who is still learning? Whatever you think, whatever you feel, let me know it below. And thank you very much for watching once again. It's very much appreciated. If you like this video and its content, just thumbs up. Feel free to subscribe anytime. Stay tuned and be well.